Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Can you hear me loud and clear? I got these headphones just for today or
Wow.
tonight.
I ordered some and they're still outside. I get packages constantly from Amazon. Go out there and grab them, but I can hear you just fine.
Okay, that's perfect. That's
Can you hear
perfect.
me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Let's just check with the audience. Thanks to those who have joined us to our first Tuesday evening in South Africa live stream. Are we loud and clear? Give us thumbs up, give us hearts, say yay. The comment section. Um, without further ado, I would like for you to, when we first, you and I, when we first met, you gave me your full name. Can you please tell us what that is and say it slowly,
Okay, my full name.
assertively? Yeah,
My full name is Taishika Renee
yeah.
Johnson, and now daily.
Now daily, okay.
Yeah.
Please tell us about the daily, just quickly.
Okay, we'll do. Oh, look, my friends are joining. My dear sisters, Charlena and Maria. Thank you guys so much for joining. Um,
Hey,
and we see Charles there. Daily is my I'm married now. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So I'm a
Yeah.
newlywed. I got married in January of this year, January
Okay. Okay.
8th, and
Yeah.
I'm very grateful, very thankful to an amazing man. His name is Royan Daly. So now
Ryan
my
Daly.
last
Okay.
name is Daly.
Awesome. Awesome. Greetings to Ryan Daly. Thank you for allowing Mrs. Daly to spend some time with us. Just it's very amazing. I think just to give you a bit of, I always love giving some context and background.
Yes,
And for me, in as far as you are concerned, that is how you and I met, which
yes,
is through a mutual friend, Stelo.
yes,
And Stelo and I hadn't seen each other since 1998, when he left South Africa for the US.
yes.
And I only saw him again for the first time, I think, in 2019. It was before COVID, before lockdown, when he came to SA
Mhm.
briefly. And it's really amazing. And for me, this is one of life's humbling moments where all these dots, all these relationships, all these experiences that one goes through in life, as we go through the paces through life, everything starts to connect, and you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But anyway, thanks, Tai, for giving us time, to have this conversation. Um, Going through your profile, which I'm going to read briefly, because for now I've got the upper hand in terms of what you do and where you hail from. It's really amazing, and I think I want you maybe, or maybe before I do that, rather, just tell us who Tai is, where you hail from, which part of the US you are, from whether childhood right now, and so forth, and then I'll just go through this briefly.
Okay. I'm originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, um, a Southern girl. And I was born and raised there. And then I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, in my early 20s. And I'm still based here in Atlanta, but I've also lived in Dallas, Texas. I lived in Chicago, Illinois, but I love the South. I'm a Southern girl, to the bone. So
Yeah,
I had to make it back here. Atlanta is like
yeah,
the city in the forest. So you still
yeah.
get the Southern, but you also get the city, and that's where I am.
That's interesting. And Atlanta, is that where you also met Stella? I think that's where he was based.
Absolutely. Oh, if we
Yeah,
start talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
Stella, that's other. They made me learn how
Yeah,
to say their names. I don't know me
yeah.
if I'm
You know,
mispronouncing, but Stelo, Sibisizu, Tulani,
yeah.
Temple, uh,
Peggy.
I-
Did you
Begi,
meet Peggy?
yeah,
Peggy, yeah, yeah,
Impigilili. Uh,
yeah.
I,
Spiwe.
I didn't get to meet Sipiwe. Sipiwe
Oh
left
my,
before I met the guys. But I'm telling
yeah,
you,
yeah,
these guys were my brothers. I'm telling you, we
yeah.
went through the trenches together. You would think that I was born with them in Soweto. Yes.
That's really amazing. It's really amazing. Thanks for that. So I think briefly, as I promised, so here, let me just read it verbatim. Tai is a designer of commercial slash residential interiors, fashion, and lifestyles. She is a creator and producer at her core. Hailing from the illustrious Southern University, an HBCU, majoring in electrical engineering, was the foundation she used to forge ahead and reach her design goals in several mediums. Starting in media at CNN to producing her own online series, Chic in a Bag, to currently being in pre production for the feature length film of the series alongside, alongside the film production arm. She is also the podcast creator of the ABCs of Getting Out of the Bag, which streams on numerous platforms like Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, etc. This is really amazing. I'm going to pause here a bit, right? So 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 you've done electrical, or you majored in electrical engineering. There's a construction uh background to this. There's media, there's fashion. I don't know if there's anything that you haven't included in this.
Hmm.
um I know I stopped short of reading the rest of
Yes.
what you do here, right? So just how did you navigate from all of that, from being this person who went and studied electrical engineering or majored in that, moving into construction, media, beauty, or fashion?
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I've always been a creative my entire life, but I also,
yeah.
yeah, see, people are putting other things too. Dancer, minister, I worship. That's my sister Maria. That's what she knows me for.
Hi, Maria.
And if you
Sure.
study my timeline, I'm telling you, it could almost seem unreal, but I'm a firm believer in following your passion. And my passion
Yeah.
in life led me in all these areas. For instance, I studied engineering because I ended up being in a school that was for engineer students. And then that was
Mm,
also
mm.
one of the things one of my passions when I was younger, I wanted to be a fashion designer. And everybody that
Okay.
knows me right now knows that I wanted to do fashion, but my dad was like, "No,
Yeah.
you're going to go to school to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer." One,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I like math, so I studied
Yeah.
engineering. Um,
Sure.
Upon leaving school, I got to Atlanta and I got an opportunity at CNN. I started working as a temp there. Like they
Okay.
used to hire from within the company, and I was very young. So I started working as a temp there and I got a lot of favor. I had a lot of opportunity, and I had an opportunity to learn from different parts of the media arm. And so I started
Mm.
working as a liaison for international affairs. And at the time,
Okay.
there was a company, there was an arm there. Well, I actually worked for TBS, which was a part of CNN, but there was an arm
Yeah.
there called the WCW, if you guys can remember, the World Championship Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Worked in international development with them. And so
Wow.
that's kind of like how I got into it. I got on the behind the scenes of how they were producing shows and how they were sending these shows out to our international affiliates on their particular formats. And so I had
Okay.
an opportunity to do that. So I went from that, and then life took another shift. And then I ended up, really pushing forth in the ministry and pushing forth. I had always
Mm,
been a
mm,
dancer.
mm.
I'd always loved
Yeah.
fashion. And then all of a sudden, this construction thing came about when I ended up coming back, moving to Chicago. There was a particular pastor who was a mentor of mine, who was also on the Word
Mhm.
Network. And he knew that I was affiliated with another pastor that did big, beautiful, beautiful construction. And he took a chance on me and asked me to redesign
Mm.
his platform, the stage, and it's on TV. And
Oh,
so
wow.
he took a chance on someone who had never done that before. That
Mm.
was the birth of my business. And it's been the
Wow.
most lucrative business that I've had since. So I did his, people saw it. Other pastors came to
Yeah.
the church and was like, "Who did that?" And then I got
Yeah.
contracts.
Yeah. Wow. That's really awesome. Is this something that you still do today?
Absolutely. As a
This
matter of
business?
fact, I'm
Okay.
doing a major project right now in Chicago, Illinois. I just left there this weekend.
Mm.
I was there working with
Mm.
the general contractor and
Mm.
getting drawings and things like that because I have 6 months
Wow.
to finish this project. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. Power to you. Wow. Okay. Wow. Now, okay. There's the construction. There's the film side that I touched on as well,
Yes.
right? But maybe before we go to that, can you maybe just unpack what "chick in a bag" is? So
Yes.
my pronunciation might be off. So chick, not chick as in with the K at the end, but with the C. So
Yes. It's
yeah, yeah,
it's CHIC, and it
yeah.
stands for completely healed in Christ, but
Okay.
stuck in a bag. And BAG
Mm.
stands for, BAG stands for Behaviors Against Greatness. A
Mm.
lot of people say that they have a faith or that they believe, no matter what your faith is, no matter what you believe, but me as a Christian, as a believer, we say we believe in Christ who
Mm.
says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, but are we doing it? Are we
Mm.
doing all things? Are we pursuing our
Mm.
passions? Are we being faithful to the purpose that rests on the inside of us? Or are we relocating it for tomorrow? If we truly
Mm.
believe that, then we're pursuing it. But if we're not pursuing it,
Yeah.
what's stopping us? And I call that the bag. I call that the
Yeah.
bag. I call those behaviors, whether it's a bag of poverty mentality, whether it's a bag of
Mm.
ignorance, whether it's a bag of procrastination, whatever the
Yeah.
bag is that is suffocating the purpose and the life out of you, it is our job to
Mm.
shine a light on it and to just to shatter that bag, come out and be the
Mm.
fullness of who you were created to be. At your very core, you are a creator. At your very core, you were not
Wow.
in this earth to just go with the status quo. You were placed on
Mm.
this earth to impact, to make a difference. And that's why I can't be put in a box. That's why you
Yeah.
can't say, oh, she works in construction. Oh, she works in fashion. Oh, I can do it
Mm.
all if I really release myself to do it. Now,
Wow.
everybody may not be called to do that. However, I know
Yes.
the capacity that I've been blessed with, I have been called to produce it. So therefore, I have a mandate on my life to not sit on it and just hold it because I feel like I'm doing too much. No, I need to produce.
Mm.
I was created to produce. I was created to impact. I was created to make a
Mm.
change. And so it's my passion to release that in myself and to also empower and invigorate others to do the same, to see the greatness, to see
Mm.
the light that is in them, that will literally unlock the light and the potential in someone else when they're true to their essence of who they are.
Wow. 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 I want to read something for you. So I put it on the screen. Then I took it off.
Oh, thank
From
you.
Shani.
Thank you, honey.
Actually, since you'll be going to Cape Town
Yes.
on the 20th, Shani is in Cape Town. So I'm putting you guys on the spotlight
Oh,
live
yes, Shani.
in front of everyone else. She will let me know. I'm more than happy, or you guys can connect in the socials.
Yes.
Um, this is really powerful. You know, it's when I speak about the dots connecting, right?
Mhm.
And I'm listening to you saying the things that you say, and my mind is going back to a live stream that I did last week, Thursday,
Okay.
with a guy called Butlari Baloi. So he really shook the tree in terms of the thinking in terms of behaviors against greatness, right?
Yes.
Self-limiting thoughts,
Yes.
self-sabotaging behavior,
Yes.
the kind of thoughts that say, but maybe my limit is up to a certain amount. I can't exceed the ceiling. I can't break through to this point. It's
Yes.
really coming together, like I say, all the dots
Yes.
connecting one dot at a time.
Yes.
Right. Sure. That's really powerful. I feel like I'm in church now. Let me grab my Bible.
It's and Shani is saying I'm looking
Yeah.
so forward to connecting with you in Cape Town too. We have to talk
Yeah.
more. But
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
it's beyond church, you know. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
beyond church. It's a lifestyle. We are
Mm.
powerful beyond our understanding. I know it was Nelson Mandela. I don't want to misquote it, but when he says, please, the very famous quote that he says about we are more powerful beyond our, it's not fear, like fear of what we can't do,
Mm.
fear that we are
They used
more.
it in that movie, I think. Yeah.
Yes, we're more powerful than we could,
Yeah.
beyond and above and beyond what we could ever imagine. That is the real fear.
Yeah.
If we will release
Yeah.
ourselves, we limit ourselves. This is not about church. This is about life. This is about the gift that's on the gift of life. If we can talk about the zoe
Wow.
of life, The Zoe of life is
Yeah.
more than, somebody going to a religious setting. I'm not talking about a religious setting. I'm talking about a relationship. I'm talking about a
Mm, mm,
lifestyle. I'm talking about a producing of the essence of all that you are. You're robbing
mm,
the world when you shortchange us by not producing what's
mm,
on the inside of you. You were literally released into time to produce
mm,
something that will impact a generation and the generations to come.
mm,
What about our forefathers, the people who went outside of the box that no one said
mm,
said it was impossible? What about it?
mm,
What about the Dr. Martin Luther Kings? What if he would have said, "That's not my business. Let me just live my life. Let me just survive in the
mm,
midst of this turmoil. Let me do what it takes for
mm,
me to survive." But no, he sacrificed his life. He emptied himself of himself. The same thing with Nelson Mandela. The same thing with all of our
mm,
great forefathers before us. Your purpose must drive you. It's not enough to just say,
mm,
"I'm going to make X amount of dollars and I'll be happy with that." No, your life is beyond
mm.
your bank account. Your life is beyond, what you will experience on this earth. Your life is a seed for generations to come.
Wow. You know, I read these two statements. I think one must have been from a Jeff Bezos book or somewhere, but another was in the church context. I don't remember the speaker, but it was something along the lines of um, the size of your dream or your vision will determine the size of the basically the amount of the provision to see it through. So if my
Absolutely.
dream is just me and my family, that's basically what I'm getting in terms of,
It.
oh, you just want you plus two others or whatever the size of my family is. But if it's no, there's, we want to impact people that are not yet born. We want to impact people that are beyond, the locations, the borders where we stay. People that, or people whose languages we don't speak,
Yeah.
and we can't understand. It's really powerful. Someone has shared this,
Look at
the
Charlena.
quote that you were referring to.
Yes, my friend
Yes,
Malika, Charlena Hooks, and also the Facebook user. That is it. Our deepest
awesome.
fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear
Mm,
is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We must ask
mm,
ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Who am I? I am. I am the creation that was put on this earth for such a time as
yeah.
this. That's why I can do it. I think that's so powerful. We need to understand
Mm,
beyond measure. Don't you know there's something in
mm,
you that there's nothing to equate it that has ever been seen on the earth? You carry it and
mm,
possess it, but if we remain in the bag, we will never be able to flourish in it and let the rest of the world feel
mm.
our impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm hearing those keyboards in my mind, like free the organ.
No, and see, it's because I'm passionate. It's because I'm so passionate about it. It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I don't want it to sound churchy, but it's because it's who I am. At the core of
That's
who I am,
powerful.
I have a relationship.
Yeah,
You know, so it's the
yeah,
essence
yeah,
of who I am. So because of that, and because I believe in it so strong, I will shout it from the mountains.
yeah. I believe everyone that's watching and listening can really pick that up. And it's really a blessing. Tai, I want to segue into something that you and I spoke about. I think might have been the first time we spoke, right?
Okay.
Um, Tell me about your or the beginning of your relationship with the motherland.
Anyone that knows me, anyone that
Yeah,
knows me knows I'm extremely passionate about Africa.
yeah,
I mean, I first got my own personal encounter with Africa through the movie Serafina when I was
mm,
in high school. This movie touched me, and if you haven't seen this movie and you're listening right now, that's why
mm,
this is so amazing to me because here you are, you're in Johannesburg, South Africa. My very first friends from Africa were from Soweto, South Africa, you
Wow.
know. So my
Wow.
first encounter with Africa, besides what people were showing us or telling us, was through the movie Serafina, which I've literally watched it at least 50 times. And what took place was I was looking at youth. And at the time, I was a youth. And this was just only maybe 10 years, 10, 12 years that it was actually taking place in South Africa before,
Mm,
before I was watching it. So this was very recent to me. It was very close to
mm,
me. And to see these young people that were willing to sacrifice it all, it was parallel with what my parents went through with the civil rights movement here in the States. So I gravitated to this, and the
mm,
beauty of the people, the beauty of I just felt something beckoning my spirit. The songs, the music, the dance, the passion, the beauty, it just drew me. And so I just started saying, I'm going to go to Africa. No one in my family had ever been to
wow.
Africa. No one.
Wow.
My mom was like,
Mm,
"Are you crazy?" you know, everybody was like, "Who do you even know in Africa?" I was like, "I don't know, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go." I started saying this like at age 16, 17. I'm gonna go. By the age of 23,
yeah.
I kissed the motherland. I went to
Wow.
Africa. And at this time, because I've only been to East Africa, to Uganda, Kenya,
Yes.
Ethiopia. We'll
Mm,
talk about that later. But I'm a part of an NGO there, and so we would go.
okay.
Thank God to my godfather, Dr. Warren Dillon. He afforded me through Reach One Mission International to go there, and we did a lot of work there. Um, in that process, I also met Stella and the
Wow.
guys. And so here it is. They're actually singing the songs that I was singing from Serafina. They taught me. We actually watched the what is it called? The commissions? Wait, what is it called? The confessions when the people were confessing.
TRC.
We watched it. I watched it.
TRC.
I
Yeah.
sat down and watched recordings of it. Um,
Yeah.
we and so I am, the movie that I was so in love with. Now I'm sitting with people that are actually from this place. And then,
Mm,
you
mm,
know,
mm.
and now for my birthday, this is my birthday gift. I actually get to go to the beautiful land of South Africa. So
Wow.
I'm
So,
so
so this is your first time coming to South Africa.
And the amazing,
Yeah.
it's my first time, even though I've been to Africa on numerous occasions, like for over the past 20
Mm,
years, I've never, and I've had people say, "Oh, we want you to come to South Africa," but it never panned out. But this time,
mm.
everything just worked out perfectly.
Awesome.
And I believe that it's a set time. Something is going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. So I think, for the benefit of our audience, so because you mentioned Stelo and what they were doing
Mhm.
when you met them, this is back when they used to dance,
They used to dance.
because that's yeah.
Yeah, I'm a dancer, and that's how
Yeah.
that was our connection because I'm a dancer, and we used to
Yeah.
dance. We actually danced for this one television show together. We traveled and danced
Mm,
at different conferences and things together, but they were professional dancers for Disney
yes.
World, in Animal Kingdom, at Disney World.
Yeah.
They happened to
Yeah.
be in Atlanta at this time, and I met them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, that's really powerful. So Stella and I go back a long way. His uncle. Did you meet his uncle Peter?
I did. I met Uncle Peter and
Yeah.
his wife.
Yeah.
She was a dancer,
Yeah.
a professional dancer. She used to dance,
Yes.
they told me, in Cape Town. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she was there in the States, beautiful.
Yeah.
But I did. I met them. I met his Uncle Peter's son. I think
Yeah. That's
two of them
Peggy.
that I met.
I haven't met the yeah. I only know Peggy. I think the other ones might have been younger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Uncle Peter, this is the background, right? So his family. So basically, he grew up across the road from my dad's family, or my grandmother's house, basically. So I grew up as a kid across the road from them,
Mhm.
And every Saturday morning, Uncle Peter would take out these huge speakers, and he had, I think, the best, music collection in the whole street, maybe even the whole neighborhood. And that's where I used to hear new songs from every Saturday morning. That was I suppose something for me to look forward to on a Saturday. Anyway, so it's really amazing in terms of the your first exposure, being the movie, and then that is Sarafina, then
Yeah.
being exposed to Stelo and them. Even when they left the country, I remember the farewell party that they had. I
Yes.
can't dance to save my life, but when I watched those guys dancing, I was like,
They were
God,
amazing.
why
Amazing.
didn't you give me this gift so that I can also,
They were amazing,
move on?
and so
Yeah.
to the
So
culture. Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So tell us a bit more about CHIC in a Bag. I think we sort of took a slight turn in
Well,
terms of, yeah, the
yeah.
way this the series and yeah.
So, Chick in a Bag started out, believe it or not, as spoken word pieces. So they started out as spoken word pieces, and they're done as a live stage show. We've done them as a live stage show in Chicago, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Atlanta, Georgia, and in Florida, Pensacola, Florida.
Mhm.
And we're wanting to resume that, but then right before COVID hit, and right
Mm,
1 year after the first season of the web series was completed, that's also COVID. But we were able to take it from being just a live show, and we started saying, "Oh, we're just going to do like little skits." And then I was like, wait,
mm,
this looks like a movie. This looks like a series. So we went ahead and started the YouTube channel, and we started to
okay.
film episodes. So we have 11
Wow.
episodes to season one. And
Wow.
that's up and running on YouTube. If you search CHIC in a bag,
Yes.
it'll pop up. And it's Chick in
Uh-huh.
a Bag Productions, and it has 11 episodes. And basically, it's just dealing with life, relationship issues. I come a lot from the church perspective because I see a lot of
Mm,
people hurt in church, but hurt people
yeah.
go to church.
Yeah.
So
True.
you
True.
can't throw the baby out with the bathwater just because, things are going
Yeah.
wrong there. Things are going wrong everywhere. So you still have to maintain
Yes.
your own personal relationship with the creator. You can't, just say, oh, everybody's evil. Everybody, no. So you have to
Yes.
deal
Yes.
with that. And it
Yeah.
exposes a lot of things too that I personally feel is wrong, in the church
True.
setting. So we deal with that too. It's a lot of maybe taboo type of scenarios going on, but they're
Yeah.
realistic. They're very realistic, and
Life. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
life. And so my whole drive behind Chick in the Bag is to not be um per se churchy, but to be realistic and let people see, hey, everybody has these issues, but hey, we can get through them if we truly are being authentic with our faith. And so
Yes. Yes.
the show deals with that. It deals with, we could get tired. You can say I have faith, but you also get tired. You can
Yes.
say I believe and I have faith, but you also get mad. You get upset. You
Yeah.
make mistakes. How do we deal with that now? And how do we deal with
True.
it in
True.
a
True.
way that does not condemn us? Because one of the biggest problems, we condemn our own selves in our minds. We're our worst judge,
Yeah.
allow
Yeah.
ourselves to stop doing and pursuing. So basically, that's the arm of the web series. Now I'm trying to, not trying to, but we are actually in pre-production for the feature length film of the Chick
Okay.
and a Oh, look, my mommy is
Okay.
here. My mommy.
Oh
Bye.
wow. Hey,
Hey,
mommy. Is that which one is your mommy? Bobby.
Bobby
Is that
Beecham.
um
Bobby Beauchamp. Yeah,
Beauchamp? Hello,
Beecham.
mommy.
Just like
Welcome to
that's
the-
Louisiana thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome, awesome.
so
So where do you want to take it in terms of your the long term, and especially in terms of distribution?
in terms of distribution, I would love to get like
Yeah.
a distribution deal with Netflix, get it on
Mm,
Amazon Prime. I would actually like to have a feature length in movie theaters one day. That is my
yeah.
ultimate goal, and I would like it to be in installments. Remember when they had Single in the City, and they had Single in the City
Oh
One,
yeah,
the
yeah.
City Two, and then they would go back and do a television series, and then a whole nother season. Then they would go back. So I want to do it that
Yes.
way, and I want it to be in a way
Yeah.
that it's relevant for the current times.
I'm sure there's a lot of spin-off opportunities, based on the characters, obviously. Um,
Absolutely.
lots
Yeah.
of those. Yeah, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really great. So I've shared the link on the as one of the comments for people to go there and subscribe.
Thank you.
I think also I had it as a banner just now across the screen. So guys, please do go and subscribe and check it
Thank
out. Leave a comment, like it, invite your friends. You know how these algorithm things work. You like, subscribe, set a
Yes,
reminder.
subscribe, set your subscription
Yeah,
notifications. I am so not
yeah.
good. Hey guys, this is where you can help me. I'm not good with
Mm.
social media at all. That's why people don't know a lot about what I do because I
Mm.
I'm trying to get better. I need a social media manager or someone like that. While we're talking
Sure.
about Chick in a Bag, another thing that I have is the Chick in a Bag podcast. If you're needing
Yeah.
inspiration, you just want to be inspired or motivated. Chick in a
Yeah.
Bag has a podcast that is on Apple Podcasts. So if you have iPhone, you can check it out on podcast. You can check it out on iTunes. You can check it out on Spotify. Basically, anywhere that you're listening to your podcast.
Mm, mm,
And right now, I'm talking about the ABCs of getting out of the bag. So whether it's
mm,
a bag of having a bad attitude, what is your attitude? Your attitude back in the day, we said your attitude determines your altitude, determines how
mm.
high you can go. Um, so is it a bag of? We talked about all kinds of things. My next podcast that I'm getting ready to release is called Fear. That's a big one, and
Mm.
most of the things that we are fearing are not even real. We're fearing possibilities. What if something happened?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
we have to break out of these things in order to produce the life that was destined for us to experience.
That is so true. Talking about fear,
Mhm,
right? So I'm also a bit of a church boy,
mhm,
I did follow the path, but I'm kind of working my way slowly but surely back on track.
mhm.
There used to be this guy, one of our visiting bishops at this church, who used to say, "Fear is basically false evidence appearing real." I'm sure you've heard this many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. I had a chat also with a friend I think on Sunday,
Mhm,
and the discussion led to me remembering that, I thought of doing these interviews as I think like last year, November, December, thereabout. But what held me back?
mhm.
Fear.
Yeah.
I was like, but no, it's gonna be funny. How do you sound? How do you look? You're not out there in terms of, hey guys, this is me, Mzu. What's type? Are you going to really do you understand what I'm saying? But I think when I got to the point where I made the commitment and the decision to, let's do this thing. It's also attracting attention from people that I wouldn't have imagined. And I think that's just yeah. So thank you for that reminder.
And me too, believe it or not. With all this stuff
Yeah.
I do, I battle fear, you know, constantly
Mm,
like, well, girl, what are you doing? Oh, you don't look good. They're gonna say you look at your face, look at this. You gained
yeah. Yeah.
weight. Oh, this, oh, that, or they don't want to hear what you have to say. And how many
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
like that video? How many people even watched it? You need to stop. Constantly these
Sure.
department. But guess what? If it touches one person, that's all. Don't
Yes.
and you
Yeah.
have to do everything that you're doing. You don't do it unto people. You do it unto
Mm.
the church. Do it unto God. He's the one that
Mm.
gives the
Mm.
assignment. It's like if you oh, he really is doing well. He's doing amazing.
Thank you.
If you are doing what you were told to do, that's all that matters. What somebody
Yeah.
else has to say about it does not matter, not one bit, because in the end, did you complete your assignment? Did you complete the purpose
Mm.
for which you came? Did you follow through
Mm.
with what you said you were going to do? In the end, that's
Mm.
all that matters. And again, about fear,
Mm.
go back to the quote that Nelson Mandela said, our deepest fear is not
Mm.
that we are inadequate. So stop telling yourself, most people are afraid of the success, afraid of what that's going to bring,
Mm.
afraid of how do I maneuver upon that? How do I keep going higher and higher? If I reach a certain point, am I
Mm.
going to hit a plateau? Are the people going to start saying,
Mm.
oh, she can't produce beyond that? So our greatest
Mm.
fear is
Mm.
not that we're inadequate. It's not. It's that we are more powerful beyond, but
Mm.
are we willing to pay the price? Are we willing to make
Mm.
the sacrifice to unlock it?
Mm.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm speechless. Speechless. Speechless.
Are you singing some Beyonce now?
Is it not Michael Jackson? What does
Oh,
this?
I
How
like
does the
that.
song go?
Look at what
Yeah.
she said, imposter syndrome. I talk about
Yes.
this all the time. There's no
Yes.
comparisons. You
Yeah.
do yourself a disservice when you compare yourself to others.
Mm.
There's no
Mm.
comparison, there's no competition. We complement each other.
Yes.
We complement.
Wow.
And so when you're trying to be somebody else, you've emptied the slot of you. So the you that you're
Mm.
supposed to be is being vacated so you can imposter someone else and try and be, doing what someone else is doing, which now is going
Mm.
to void
Mm.
somewhere and it's going to make you feel empty because you could never be
Wow.
like no one can never. Let me tell you, I am confident in this fact. What I bring to the table, no one else can bring it. And that's the same
Wow.
thing with you. What you bring to the table, there will never be another you. There will never be
True.
another you. No one will ever be able to produce what it is that you innately can produce. So once we
Mm.
love ourselves enough to know that, once we are in sync enough to know that we carry something that could only be birthed in this earth through us, then we will fall in love
Mm.
with ourselves and we will fall in love with our purpose and our assignment. We will not be swayed by what anyone else is doing, what anyone else is doing,
Mm.
because we know that we carry something that's going to produce what only we could produce. And that's
Mm.
very,
Mm. Mm.
what is Shalina said something here. That's right, because worrying about what people think will stop your purpose. And it's not
Mm.
them stopping you, it's you stopping you. Because if you spend
Mm.
your time, you only have so much real estate in your mind. Why are you letting people and things house themselves there and they ain't paying
Mm.
no rent? Where can you
Rent
go
free.
and live and pay rent? I mind the business that pays me, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's not paying me, then it's no never mind.
Yeah. 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 That is so true. That is so true. It really makes sense, and I think I've never been to the US, so I can't really talk to you about how
You
things
got
are.
to
And I
go.
think even
Oh, yeah,
in,
this show needs to. You need to have a
definitely,
show.
definitely,
Yes.
definitely. So, but in certain parts here, there's a sense of I need to play it humble, right? I need to play it. Don't be that person that's out there in terms of I can do this. I'm like, kind of like Muhammad Ali would have been someone that's considered to be out there, in terms of how confident he was. And because whenever we see that, I think it also highlights whatever insecurities that are within us.
Mm-hmm.
I remember growing up in Pimville, a place called Pimville in Soweto.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy there. Some people that are listening and watching might remember this guy. His name was Dumindaba. He was a what they called, I think then, a continuity presenter on TV. I think he did other things, in terms of media or TV work. So Dumi also grew up in the same neighborhood, a different part of the neighborhood. But now and then I would cross paths with him, never interacting, but just because we are in the same location. And I remember someone saying to me, "This guy is full of himself." And I looked at her and I asked her, "What do you mean by that?" Like I was trying to really understand. Did he say something? Like, give me some evidence. And the only thing she said was, "No, it's the way he walks and whatever." I was like, "No, that looks like confidence to me." I was like,
Confident.
because the we are raised, maybe even in our families, some of us were don't try to outshine other people. Who do you think you are? And that's the narrative and what gets spoken into our minds from when we are children.
Yeah.
I've had people telling me as a child, whenever I was doing something that they deemed to be outside of my character, they would say things like, "Oh, so you're hlakanipa," which means, "Oh, you're becoming clever now." You
Mm,
know, and those types of things said to children, they stick, and you take that into your adult years, and then you are this person that shrinks every time that
y-
you
y-
can shine, you
I'm
can do
telling you
this, you've got it, but
it.
mm,
There's a
mm,
huge difference between confidence and cockiness. There's a huge
mm,
difference
mm,
between confidence and
mm,
arrogance. I'm not talking
mm,
about
mm,
arrogance. I'm talking about confidence. Confidence comes from a place
mm,
of knowing. Okay,
mm,
now I'm going to go a little churchy. The Bible says the people that do know their God shall
mhm,
be
mhm,
strong and do exploits. When you
mm,
know, you know. There's nothing that somebody can tell you when you know it. When you know it, that means I've experienced it. I know it. This is sure. This is true. I'm not going off of what I read on social media, what somebody else told
mm.
me, but I'm going off of my experience of what I know. Another thing, again,
So,
going
yeah.
churchy, listen to this. They asked Jesus, if you be the Son of God. So basically, what it's saying, and this is what people will ask you all the time, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to say that? Who do you think you are to have that? Who do you think you
Mm,
have to be able to answer that question. They asked
mm,
him, who, if you be the Son of God, then do this. And what did he do? He always answered them back with the word. You have to be able to answer people back. Like when people come at you with the side eye, who she thinks she is? Watch her video. I'm not going to follow her. I'm not
yeah,
going to patronize her business. Do you know that there are billions of strangers around the world that will patronize your business, that will patronize
yeah,
your ministry, that will patronize you because you carry
yeah,
something that they need? Stop looking
yeah,
at people that's right around you. You're
yeah,
bigger than that. If they want to jump on board, fine. Because guess what? When you start shining, everybody gonna want to know you. Everybody gonna want to
yeah,
be
yeah,
associated with you. So just go ahead and be confident. Know who you are. Who's gonna pay
yeah.
for a brand that isn't confident? Do you think that people would be buying Gucci and Versace if those people shrunk back into the night and was like, well, my little bitty old design, my small this? No, they want it for the opulence. They want it for the
Mm,
grandeur. They want it because it screams, I have arrived. And another thing
mm,
that and it goes back to our history in the African American community. We, even as adults, were called boy, girl. Don't puff yourself. Who do you think you are? Be quiet. Don't speak. Don't
mm,
say anything, because if you do, you're going to draw attention to yourself and you could die. Or, who are you? You're less than human. It was in our Constitution. As African Americans or as Black people, we were considered to have a, 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 a smaller capacity to know things, to even say things. So all of this
mm,
stuff in our confidence, it stems back, and that's why I'm talking about getting out the bag. We have to shatter those bags. We have to shatter those norms. Yes, I am going to speak
mm.
up. I am going to say what I have to say because I know. And when you know, just make sure you know. I ain't talking about talking out of ignorance. Because yeah, in the internet, we have a lot of that too. Know what you're talking about. Be educated on the topic.
Self-made experts. Yesterday I was a lawyer, today I'm a scientist, tomorrow I'll decide.
Yes, be educated on what you're talking about and what you're doing. Don't just claim it. I think I was watching a show
Yeah,
the other day, and
yeah,
someone just dubbed themselves as a matchmaker or something, but they never went to get
yeah,
any certification or any training or anything like that. I'm not in agreement with
yeah.
that.
A matchmaker. Hold on, as in they're playing Cupid.
Yes.
Is is there a form of I didn't know that there's any certification required.
Oh,
Is
yes.
there?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, certified. You have to go through.
I
There's all.
must check here if that's the case. Wow.
Oh, I don't know if it is
That's
that. That's
interesting. I don't know. I've never really checked.
well, I'm
I've never.
it is, even though they have
Yeah.
self-dubbed everything, people self
Wow.
dub themselves.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Wow. So, so tell me something, right? I'm going to refer to something that you did. What's today? Today is Tuesday. A few days ago, I think last week,
Hmm.
which I really appreciate. You you hit me up in light of your upcoming visit to SA, and you asked me to help you find people that you can buy from here in SA.
Yes.
You need a dress, you need makeup, you need photography, and all of those things. And my question is the following: what do you think, or how do you see us? You being based in the US, and by you I don't only mean you, but your network as well, and people that you work with,
Hmm.
doing what you did in a bigger scale, or gradually getting to that scale or level where there's some kind of an intercontinental trade between
Yes.
black people here in Africa, in South Africa, and black people in the US.
Anyone who knows me knows that's my passion. If you look at my timeline,
Mm,
you'll see me in different parts of Africa saying, please come. My desire is
yeah,
to partner with my brothers and sisters at the motherland, all over the
yeah,
motherland. And I'm super excited about doing it in South Africa, but
mm,
I want us to build business together on
yeah,
both sides. Are there goods that
mm,
you supply that I can get,
mm,
that you can produce, that I can sell here? Are there goods
mm,
or things that I produce here that you're needing there? Is there a building that would commission me to come and design it there? Are there things that
mm,
you can
mm,
do that I could get you to the States to be able to do for
sure,
me? I think the possibilities are endless. But I
yeah,
think there has been a bridge that has been trying to build back across the Atlantic for so long. And I'm hoping,
mm,
and I'm seeing now, honestly, there's been a fervor. There's been a move where more of my American brothers and sisters are taking interest in going over. They're
mm,
all other cultures being taking interest and going to
yeah,
Africa, but for
yeah,
some reason, yeah, it's a lot. We haven't,
yeah,
and
yeah,
um, it's been my passion for so long for us to do, because I believe when it takes place, something is going to be produced in this world that is out of
mm,
this world. With the creativity
sure,
comes together, the resources come together,
yeah, yeah,
the talent comes together, man.
mm,
And that's
mm,
my passion. So even with me coming to SA, I'm
mm,
desiring to meet people to do partnerships and business with. Like I said, I'm in
mm,
construction. I have a lot of ideas and plans and things that I want to
mm,
do that would lift not just me, not just align my pockets, but to also give an opportunity. I love those jewels that are hidden, like people that
mm,
no one knows about them just yet, the underdog. And I want us to come together and work together to do some
mm.
things. That's my passion. It's been my
Awesome.
passion for over 20 years.
Yeah, yeah. And there's obviously also the knowledge exchange.
So much.
I think on both sides. A friend of mine sent me a link which I can't share here because of copyright issues, but I will share the link on separately on my personal timeline for those that are interested. I'll send it to you, Tai. It's
Mhm.
basically a guy that's created and documenting history within the continent. So when Christopher Columbus was exploring the world and discovering, new places, what was happening in the continent. So he's looking at years like 1492 and so forth. And it's nicely documented because it's also animated.
Mm.
It really got me thinking in terms of how much work we need to put in terms of storing, well, firstly, documenting it, creating such content, but also making it, storing it in such a way that it can be accessible by future generations.
Yes.
The last thing we want is to have that gap where no one has any point of reference to say what happened in these years.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really. I think there's really a lot. Excuse me,
Mhm.
of opportunities
Mhm.
on both sides. I think also starting with something you said. I forgot how you put it, but wanting to also know, wanting to also explore and see,
Yes.
what lies ahead and all that, and also understanding. Um, you know, uh, Basically knowing the right sources. I
Yeah.
think a lot of the damage has been done by Hollywood in terms of how things are portrayed. How things are portrayed.
Yeah, that is, and that's why I'm so happy with all of the technology, because now we're able, what I've been
Yeah.
trying to show people forever, because they be like, "So when you go to Africa, do you sleep in the jungle, or do they have shoes?" I mean, so now
Yeah.
everybody is able to see the massiveness, the luxury, the beauty, that lies
Mm,
there.
mm,
Honestly, to me, Africa is the absolute most beautiful land in the world. I know people say America, 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 and I'm thankful, I'm grateful that I'm here in America.
mm,
But I also want you to know the beauty of Africa. The sky is a different sky there. You know, um,
mm.
the land is just beautiful. The love, and America is a boom, 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 and a lot of people
Yeah,
think, oh, if
yeah,
I can just get to America, baby, you gonna work. But it's a beautiful land. It is the land of the free.
yeah,
But Africa, I'm willing. I would live there. I almost moved in 2006. I almost moved there.
yeah,
Already been talking
yeah.
to my husband about it. We're gonna be looking, like, when we come. We're gonna look
Nice,
at real
nice.
estate to have like a place there. I'm there. I'm so into culture, and I cannot wait
Yeah.
to be in Soweto. I want to meet the Zulu people face to face. I know some Zulus, but I want face to face. You know.
Let's not upset the other tribes,
Oh well, I'm
please.
sorry.
I'm Xhosa. Don't leave that my Xhosa.
Wait.
There's Pedi,
What's
there's
your?
Tswana,
Okay.
Xhosa.
I want to meet everybody. Believe me, but it was them that I met first. I want to meet everybody. I'm not a tribal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know. As an American,
I
but I want to
I
meet.
know your first.
I love culture.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, you'll enjoy yourself. And I think I'm looking forward to meeting and hosting you when
Yes,
you hit Johannesburg. I did send a message to, not a message directly to her, but I did indicate that you and Shani can connect. She's in
yes.
Cape Town.
I'm looking
She'll
forward.
obviously connect you to other people. Coincidentally, the lady that I introduced you to is also connected to Shani, so it kind of makes the world even much more smaller.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that.
But
That's
I
that.
mean, this is the other rich thing about coming and about knowing you guys, is to be able to
Mm,
learn the culture. We crave it.
mm,
We desire to
mm,
know, even though we don't know exactly which place we came from. We know we came from
Yeah, yeah,
the motherland. So to me,
yeah,
it's so rich. I just love to see the traditional things. I love to see,
yeah.
the beauty of the land, the beauty of the people, the old, like traditions, all those things. I think that's so
Mm,
rich, and it's something that we missed out on.
definitely.
Yeah.
It is, and I think also, and this is the sad part about growing up in a place and also living here for the most part. You don't really get to fully appreciate it because you're not looking at it with the fresh pair of eyes.
Mhm.
That someone that's coming in from the outside, is coming in, which also kind of makes sense why it's easier for opportunities to be taken advantage of by people that come, because they come in, they see all of this beauty.
Mhm.
You see, you mentioned, for instance, how the US is vis-a-vis Africa, and it's a known fact that Africa has the youngest population in terms of like the highest numbers in terms of the youngest population in the world,
Mhm.
right? There's just so many opportunities that the people here are either unable, or they're just not taking advantage of, or we don't see them. And
Mm.
someone that comes in, they're like, "Hey guys, do you see what I see?
Yeah.
Do you see what I see? Check that, check that opportunity."
Oh, I'm telling
And
you,
it
it's
takes
so
that,
beautiful. It's so beautiful. We
yeah.
like I remember, I think it was Beyonce recently when she came out with the Lion King CD, and she did the whole rendition and the tribute, and she had a lot.
Mm,
I know a
mm.
lot of people like, oh, we're past that, like the
Yeah,
our brothers and sisters in Africa, but we in America, and you don't understand, that came at like this perfect time for us because we
yeah,
were right in the midst of the Black Lives Matter movement. We
yeah,
were
yeah,
right in the midst of that, and that gave us energy. Over here,
yeah,
we loved it because it reminded us we have a home. And to
yes,
you like, oh, we're past that because now
yeah.
you guys want to show the big skyscrapers, the big this, that just like us in America, we're used to all that. So we want what you got, and
What
you
to
want
see,
what we got. It's like,
and that's it's really interesting. I think that's why there needs to be a form of exchange.
yes, a big
You
one.
know,
Hmm.
this guy said something very interesting, and I'm cognizant of the time. He said, if as a parent, if you can do this, if you stay in the city or suburban area, right, and this is where you raise your kids, if you can take your kids and send them, or you go with them to a village, a rural area, a not so advanced area like yours, do that swap where you get these kids to learn from each other. This one comes from the city, they know how to use the internet, tablets, smartphones, all of those things. Uh, this one knows how to milk a cow, how to slaughter a cow. Like, I don't know if that's something that Stella has ever told you about, but just to watch all of that taking place, and whatever rituals that go with that, that's something that one can learn from.
Yeah,
And fusing the two, it makes you a almost a superhuman being. Like,
multidimensional here. You get
yeah,
both of both worlds, the best of both worlds. So
yeah, for
it's
real. Yeah,
important that we do that, and that's
yeah.
been my passion for a long time. And I have friends like,
Mm,
I'm talking about Stella. So as an African
mm,
American, I have friends that are natives of different countries in Africa that I've been friends with for over
mm,
20 years. So my capacity for understanding, my capacity for um, just passion in different areas is the better because
mm,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
want that exchange. And I work with I'm mentoring some young ladies, and that's one of my things for them is before they even get to
Mm,
the college ages, they must visit Africa. They have to see it for
yeah,
themselves, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and so that's
That would be
important.
really powerful. That's
Mm.
really powerful. Just a quick one. I'm going to summarize. Dleleni just joined us. Dleleni Maqubela. Mzuzukile, you're such a hard worker, Bruce. Thank you. Thank you. I feel I'm lazy sometimes. Thanks to you and your team. Joined a bit late, not sure of the topic. So Ndleleni, Tai is a new friend that I made, thanks to an old friend of mine called Stelo. Stelo, where is Stelo now? He's in
He's
Mexico.
in Mexico. He's in Mexico.
Ay, this guy. So he introduced me to Tai, who's coming to the country. So it's all about you'll catch the rerun. It will sit in the group, my timeline, the page, but essentially it's about forming and forging these relations across the Atlantic, where we need to be more deliberate in terms of learning from one another, teaching one another, doing business with one another, essentially. Yeah. Um, Tai, please tell me, us, not me, a bit about your NGO, NPO work in, you said it's in Kenya.
It's in Kenya and Uganda. So
Yeah,
it's called Reach
yeah,
One Mission International Romy.
yeah.
And it was founded in 1998 by my godfather, Dr. Warren Dillon. We built a secondary girls' school in Homa Bay, Kenya. We've
Okay.
built a church in Kayenga. We also have a program where we're getting funding and
Mm.
medication. We took over $20,000 of medicine over and did
Wow.
with the nurses and doctors there. And so we went out in the village
Yeah,
and out around Victoria Lake. And so
yeah, yeah.
we did that. We've been doing that since 1998. If
Awesome.
not every year, then
Yeah,
every other year, going out with a team of
yeah.
us from the States. We also had
Mm,
helped people go through school. We've had a soccer uniform program where we were
mm.
getting soccer uniforms from this Canadian company and giving it to the kids out there in the villages. And then also one of the
Yeah.
biggest things that we did and we were very proud of is we helped to build a farm that is now a whole community with hundreds of families housing like I want to say 1,000 something students are on the campus with live-in dormitories. There's a school there. They have the pond where they can fish there. They are building crops there, and it's amazing. And so it's and
Wow.
my friend, my dear sister Susan and her husband are leading that whole thing. They're natives of Uganda, and
Okay.
we've just been in a relationship with them since 1998.
Wow. That sounds really beautiful. Do you have any plans to advance into other locations in the continent?
Yes, we actually
Yeah.
have a program. My godfather has a program, a school. It's a school of excellence
Yeah.
that gives people the opportunity to have dual enrollment. So they're able to attend
Mm,
their local schools and also simultaneously go through an education and get an associate or a dual degree. So let me explain this. When you come to the States, let's say you've already graduated the university or you've graduated school, you may not be able to go straight into the university here in the States. They'll make you take certain courses or tests. But with our program, you can skip that because you have
okay. Wow.
a United States high school diploma when you graduate from your
Wow.
school. So you already
Yeah.
can apply to any university because you're considered
Wow.
to be a U.S. graduate of with a
Wow.
U.S. High school diploma. And this is in His Image
Sure.
Christian Academy and in His Image
Yes.
Bible Institute. If anyone wants to look that up, it's in His
Yeah.
Image Christian Academy and in His Image Bible Institute. And we're also working on the I-20 program, which would also help students or people that are interested in furthering their education here in the States through our programs to
Yeah.
actually matriculate here to come over.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's that's really inspiring. And will you take it beyond the borders from Uganda and Kenya to, let's say, South Africa?
If we have, we we've actually tried. If we have people that are willing to
Yeah.
partner with us in those places,
Oh,
um, we
yeah.
can actually do that. It's only
Yeah.
most of our work is virtual, so our databases are
Mm,
virtual. school, if there's an internet connection and the student has
Mm,
access to a computer, we also have
mm,
facilities for that where we have access to laptops and things of that nature to be able to
mm,
help
mm.
and assist in those. But the networks have to be strong enough so that the children or the adults can log on and complete the assignments to be a part of the program. But we're willing to do that. We're
Okay,
willing to come and to do conferences to talk
sure,
about
sure.
it, how people could join and be a part of it and
Yes,
even
yes.
start a branch of it in their own localities.
That's really great. I'll introduce you to someone. He's not really, I think it's more similar work to that,
Mhm.
but more in the tech space or your robotics AI.
Mm.
So, mainly in KZN or a province called KwaZulu Natal. So you meet your
Mm.
favorite people there. You just meet all of them at the same time. I'm joking. Hey, they'll come for me, these guys. But thank you. I think that's really encouraging. I'm looking forward to meeting with you, and I believe like a lot of the people that have been watching and listening are very inspired.
Awesome.
If I want to get in touch with you, based on maybe one of the things you spoke about tonight, it can be CHIC in a bag, it can be, what you've just touched on around Romy and so forth. Excuse me. How do we do that? How do we get hold of you?
You can reach me on Instagram. You can reach me
Yeah,
here on Facebook. On Facebook, my handle is Tai Johnson. That's TaiJohnsson. So you
yeah.
can go to this live stream. I'm sure that you have me linked, right? And you can go straight to my account. You can message me. Also on
Yes, yes.
Instagram, I am Adorè Fashions 333, or you can do Tai Johnson Speaks and inbox me. I can get with you there. And
And then
also,
I'll
if you
just
go to
say,
any of the
yeah.
websites, any of those things, you can get.
Okay, that's awesome. So, guys, you heard for yourselves. If you want to get in touch, either listen to the live stream. We do mention the website and all that, but otherwise, I will share Facebook and Insta. I assume Insta it's all one word, but I'll put
Yes,
spaces
it's
in
all one word.
between.
Hmm.
All. Oh, okay, let me just do it the right way.
Yeah, it's AD
Um,
Adorè Fashions 333.
so for Insta, I only have Tai Johnson Speaks.
You can do that.
Is that
Yeah,
fine?
that's perfect. Mhm.
Okay, cool. I'll put it across the screen right there. Okay, awesome. Okay, the time for you now is 13 minutes past 3 p.m. For
Yes,
me, it's 13 minutes past 9 p.m. So,
I know, it's getting late.
yeah, yeah, it is. It is. But thank you for your time. I really enjoyed this. I think when we connect again, there's a lot of unpacking and workshopping, and then we'll be like, okay, let's do this, let's do that, quack quack quack, pang pang.
I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. I can see workshops in SA. I can see workshops in the
Yeah,
ATL. It's coming.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Thanks to everyone that joined us, and thanks to your friends, joining all the way from the United States of America.
And
Know what
thank
I'm
you.
saying?
Thank you so much for having
Somebody's like, wow, Mzu.
me.
Yeah.
Zoo. Thank you
No,
so
I'm like,
much.
cool, man, cool. Thanks. We'll connect in a bit now.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Bye,
Cheers.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This was the first, hopefully, of many Tuesday night live streams. So, as you may know, we've got Thursdays at 7 p.m. That's 1 p.m. for the Eastern Time people. And what's today again? Tuesdays at 8 p.m. So I'm going to do this as differently as I can from the Thursday stream. Once again, thank you, Baya Danki, Kialibuha, Giabonga. Goeienaand. Bazongishaya load shedding in a bit. Peace.